Loreen, thank you for being with us. How are you
Thank
feeling
you.
about this market today?
Well, it's good to see in the green numbers. That's great after last week and some volatility there. But I would say we still have, I would say for the rest of the year, expect volatility. We're in an election year. We've got tensions with China that have resurfaced and then some extended valuations in some of these companies. So I think what I've been saying to investors right now is look at diversifying that portfolio, look at going into the areas that haven't seen as much of a run up to see where do we go from here after the run up in large cap growth tech, look to some other areas for the next leg up.
Right, but you still like tech and healthcare. You're not saying to get out of tech and healthcare, right? Because I know that those are areas
No,
that you
wouldn't
like.
say, but I would say to pair off some of those gains in some of those concentrated positions and look to take some of that into some other areas that haven't seen as much of a run up. And specifically in technology, we like the semiconductor area of technology. So kind of broadening out your exposure in the tech space.
Right, and by the way, I saw today semiconductors not bad, right? The SMH new high there, but you definitely are looking for value, right? So where do you think we could find some value?
Well, I think looking at capitalization within value. So look at some of the small and the mid cap as well as the large cap. If you look across the capitalization structure, we see opportunities in the value space. And certainly it's a stock picker's market. Certainly you don't want to get stuck in a value trap, but we do see some opportunities. And I would say looking at some of the sectors of consumer staples as well as healthcare, both being on the value side of that equation, I would be looking into some of those sectors.
Right. What about banks? Anything you like about banks?
We do. We like the large banks. We've seen that they came out well, both on the stress tests as well as on the earnings. And once again, it's a stock picker's market looking to the ones that have been excelling. But on the investment banking front, on the way that they've been able to diversify apart from, non-interest bearing areas. So I would say that, yes, we like some of those large bank names to be looking at.
Right. So that's good to know. And then I think about bonds. So fixed income, you're not shying away from it. I mean, there's some areas that you favor more within fixed income, right?
Right. And so I think that people need to not be complacent when it comes to fixed income. And we've been in a position where you don't want to fight the Fed. The Fed has been supporting the fixed income markets. And that's why you've seen the high yield do as well as it has off those lows in March. But I would say to beware, because for companies that are sitting on a lot of debt and are over levered, if you look at the performance, you'll see that those are the companies that do have high yield debt, are highly levered. So I would be very careful there and stick with looking at your core income, look at high quality fixed income, look at agency fixed income. Those are some of the areas that we like, as well as mortgage backed, mortgage backed as well.
Right, right. Okay. And then just to circle back, we watch these FANG stocks, obviously, and a lot of news coming out this week. We have a lot of earnings to watch. How are you feeling about FANG and earnings season?
Well, I think that this will be an interesting week going before Congress and seeing what comes out of this potential antitrust. But as was mentioned before by the contributor there, he was mentioning that, he still thinks that they're going to come out okay. I would agree. I think that they're going to be fine, but expect some volatility. And if you're looking to increase positions, look at those times of volatility to be increasing positions. But once again, you got to say, where do these companies go from here? And what are those price targets? So be careful. Just, a warning as far as where we go from here after there's been such a run up.
What do you tell a long-term investor?
Long-term investors don't need to be as concerned about the short-term volatility in the markets, but they can be focused on where they want to see their portfolio, 10 years from now. So with that, once again, looking at different areas of the market, I would say most people are underinvested in their international part of their portfolio. There's been more of a concentration here in the US, but now with Europe providing that stimulus package, I would say, once again, look over to Europe again to see, I think with their central bank stimulus package, I think we'll see some increase there. And as was noted, the strengthening of the euro against the dollar, which can also help returns here.